guys? Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia chapter 161. And this was actually a rather short chapter this week, but a lot of stuff still happened. So we start off with Kuroguri being captured by Gran Torino, and that kind of setup already was had me screaming, decoy, decoy, Kuroguri's a decoy. And when we got introduced to, I think, Gigantomachia, I think his name is. I don't know how to pronounce that last part of his name, but I gotta say, his design, like, I immediately, when I saw his design, I saw him and his design, I thought, but of course, I've been watching some old Godzilla movies, I see, but yeah, in all seriousness, you learn that this new character was one of One For All's more than likely failed attempts to pass on his legacy as a symbol of evil, which makes me wonder if his design is more than just an aesthetic choice, and it's Horikoshi's way of showing that this happened to him because All For One overloaded his body with quirks and somehow survived, but ended up in a similar state to the Nomus. And, like, if that was the case, it would make more. I am more on the fence. I am more in the mode of believing the latter, because if that is the case, then it would make sense as to why he was a failed experiment, and also more than that, like if I want, but also if he is in like a similar state to the Nomus, it would make. I don't think he's like a complete he's completely nomified or whatever you want to say. Like, I don't think he's completely lost his cognitive functions or his will to think. I think he has a bit. I think this new character is a bit more of a what's the best word to put it? He has a bit more of a what is it? I think he has a bit more of a I think he has a bit more of a will to think for himself, and I think and that's probably how he's remained so even so loyal to All For One and his people so far, is that he does, even though he does, yeah, even though he probably is nomified, I think he does kind of have somewhat of an idea of who he's loyal to and whatnot. So yeah, whereas with the Nomus, I think they just kind of. I think they just kind of. I think there's part of the brain that just kind of follows them in order to cut. Who just follows them because they're taking orders almost. But with this guy, I think he does. I think he does have enough will to kind of think for himself, and also, yeah, pretty much say, yeah, this is who I serve almost. He won't serve anyone else. But yeah, and so this chapter also gave clue to the question we've probably all been asking ourselves: what would happen if Izuku offered to give his quirk to Mirio, and Mirio, unsurprisingly, with a smile on his face, flat out refused, saying that taking One For All from Izuku wouldn't change the situation, just the roles of people in it. And he is 100% correct, because the way Mirio said it, the way he was talking about it, Mirio basically understands that if Izuku gave Mirio One For All, then Mirio would just feel bad that he put Izuku in his position, and with that, and then with that, he would feel the guilt and weight and just want to give the quirk back to him, and then it would be a back and forth, back and forth. Izuku would want to give it to Mirio, Mirio would want to give it to Izuku would want to give it to Mirio would want to give it back to Izuku. It's like, yeah, it would be just one of those whole things where it would be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, nothing would have changed about the whole situation. Nothing would have changed about the situation. It would just be an endless cycle, and both would end up in a very bad situation. But in either one would end up in a very, and either one would just end up exactly right back where they started. So yeah, and I just really liked how I really liked the reasoning behind Mirio on that one, and I really got to say, just this whole scene of Mirio just was laughing it off and just goofing off in the hospital and saying he'll be all right and whatnot. That right there is a perfect example of one of All Might's quotes about, no matter the situation, a true hero has to keep smiling in order to give hope to the people he wants to protect. And Mirio just has an eternal smile. It's something we know about him from the very beginning. He was introduced, that Mirio, he has an eternal smile, and he refuses to let very few people see, and he refuses to let very few people see his actual emotions. Even though we can clearly see he is hiding his pain and true emotion behind the whole situation in this chapter. And what's really fucked up about this whole situation is that even though even though Night Eye pretty much gave his blessing on his deathbed for in order for Izuku to become the next one for all and the next symbol of peace. Mirio, at the end of the day, is still a better Horikoshi is still showcasing Mirio as the better freaking choice here. Like everything about Mirio is just represents what a symbol of peace and a true hero should be. He and yeah, it is really fucked up, I know, but it's like, yeah, maybe there was a mistake made here. Yeah, I think there was a mistake made, or it's just with the way Horikoshi's writing this whole thing. But yeah, it's like, yeah, the true Mirio truly is a true hero, and he just has an eternal smile that just refuses to give up. And for that, I can do nothing but respect Mirio for that, honestly. Um, Now, in this chapter, it does mention Mirio does mention in this chapter that there is a chance of regaining his quirk if somewhere down the line Eri does gain full control of her quirk. So basically that Eri can return Mirio's quirk to him. And I hope that doesn't become a plot point in the story, because if it does, then this will just give more ammunition to basically all the people who more or less say that My Hero Academia is worse than Fairy Tail. Like they've already been saying, I think there have been people who've been already saying that about Black Clover, and this is just gonna give them. This is just gonna give them more. If that does happen, this is just gonna give them more ammunition in order to say it to Fairy Tail. In order to say it about My Hero Academia as well. And I've said it time and time again that nothing can never be as worse as Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail is its own special kind of bad, but I definitely know that if that does happen, I'm definitely aware that if that does happen, this will just give more ammunition to all the people who say it and who definitely say that it's worse than Fairy Tail, and like even though even though the people that do love the series like us, even though we just ignore people like that, am aware that if that happens, if that does happen, then those people that do say it is worse than Fairy Tail are just going to be popping out of the work. And like, honestly, I doubt you're going to see this review, Horikoshi. But if that is part of your plan down the road, save it for like the climax or the epilogue of the series, please. Because if you do that, I know you're going to get a lot of people. I know you're just going to prove a lot. I know you're just going to prove the point to a lot of people, and I'd be lying if you said the fans that you do have, you might kind of make them mad too. I don't. The fans that you do have, you're probably going to make mad too. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for every one of us, but I definitely know it is going to be a little bit of a disappointment if you don't handle it carefully. Like I said, if you're gonna do that, save it for like the climax or the epilogue, or somewhere where it won't be as intrusive or seem as like out of nowhere almost is what I'm saying. But and actually, honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking about it, and the more I'm thinking about it, and the more I kind of talk about it, and looking back on that page of Mirio even talking about getting his quirk back. I actually do realize that maybe that was sort of his way of just kind of remaining optimistic about the whole situation, because I guess like he said there there is a very slim chance of Eri even gaining control of her quirk now, because, well, for one, she's of course just a little kid, and for two, using her quirk on Izuku did very much tax her out quite a bit. So yeah, in a way, I think, even though I do still have my reservations of how of that particular thing being a plot point later down the line. I am hope I'm I do kind of see it that it was probably also Mirio just kind of being a little optimistic almost about himself, so optimistic about the whole situation. So yeah, um, and other than that, like the last page shows Todoroki and Bakugo heading to their provisional license course, just which I think was just kind of almost kind of a reminder to us that they failed to pass their course. I think I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly that Todoroki did fail his exam. I just know Bakugo did. I couldn't remember if Todoroki did though or not. I think he did. Now that I think about it, he must have if they're mentioning it here. But yeah, I don't know if and I don't know if that was kind of like a transition into. I don't know if them heading to their exam was like a transition into like a mini arc or something where we see them get their license. But if it is, I'm all for it because to be honest with you, this whole this whole arc has of course been very Izuku centric, and it would be kind of nice in order to get back to all the other characters we like to see, like Bakugo and Todoroki, and just all or just and even though a lot of other people did of course, and even though there was a lot of other characters that already passed, it would still be just kind of nice to see them again, like Momo, I guess Great Boy is or Great Boy Mineta, like Great Boy Mineta, believe it or not, even yeah, just or Denki, like all these other characters that we know and love. I just want to see them again. So yeah, I'm hoping we can see these guys again. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.